देवावर विश्वास ठेवावा लागतो आणि त्याचा अनुभव आला की मग त्याच्यात गुंतत जातो सतत माणूस. त्याच्यामुळं
Okay. Abhay ji is saying that we, experience certain things in our life. When we have faith, things manifest, and that strengthens our faith. And that is the way that it continues. Okay. In the chat box, Hemlata ji has written, yes, people who have faith in God are more evolved. Okay. Sandhya ji, what do you?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Actually, faith in God, of course, when it is there, we are more disciplined and we go with disciplined day-long life, and rituals goes in a disciplined way. As in Bhagavad Gita, he says, first we should have discipline, and we have to do like kindergarten, what they do, just they do without knowing anything. Once we keep doing it, we get know more about, jnana about, of course, we cannot understand God, but we should try understanding ourselves and giving respect to elders goes with that. So when we are, it is like, it grows. Gnana karma goes hand in hand. Once we keep doing it, of course, we get more and more understanding of the situation, what we come across, and how we have to handle. It goes with that, sir. So we enjoy more being praying God, or understanding the situation, what we come across.
Oh, Sandhya ji, such a beautiful answer. Very beautifully answered. Sandhya ji says that, there are jnana and karma which are commonly seen in people, even those who do not have faith. And then as you keep on doing your karma, your duties, or in the jnana, you keep on acquiring more and more knowledge. Slowly, people start developing that feeling where they start enjoying the prayer. Very beautifully answered. Very beautifully answered.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else would like to share any other views?
Sir, unless you understand God, who is infinity, where God is laying beyond the infinity, where there is no evil or nothing. So unless if you don't understand what actually God, only for our purpose, to solve our purpose, to solve our difficulties, we pray, we have faith. Otherwise, so mere that type of faith is not good. And so though maybe they be evolving for time being, that may not be the true faith in God, sir. That's what I feel.
Okay. So Gandhi sir says that there are different ways in which people develop faith. Some people develop faith because they are in trouble. They want to come out of trouble. Some people want something, but he says that these may be more inferior ways, but these are also the ways through which people go towards God. Bhagavad Gita also says that. Yes, very much true. Kanchan, you want to say anything?
So I am Sandhya again.
Yes, Sanjay.
But very clearly we understand in Bhagavad Gita. I cannot understand God unless I understand myself. That's what Krishna says, and that's how he says you try doing it small, like how baby crawls and then gets up, and step by step it is. So innocently we start doing our what's that, adoring God by doing all different ways of worshipping, like bhakti, and doing pujas and chanting, chatting and all. So that's how we keep growing connection with God. But to start with, one cannot understand God. That's what he keeps saying. You cannot understand me, Arjuna. Only you will understand after a lot of gnana and understanding yourself, then you can start understanding me. That's what I have understood, sir.
Yes, yes, Sandhya ji, very beautiful. You know that you grow in bhakti. It is not something which will suddenly come at once. So it
Yeah.
requires karma yoga, it requires those rituals to be done for a long
Mm.
time, and then slowly that flowers within you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great.
Shobhana ji.
Good morning, sir. Why do some people have faith in God and some people don't? I have come across people who believe there is no faith in God. I think it's because people are relating God to religion, and there are many religions. People get confused which religion to follow, which God I should believe in. So that kind of confusion. That is why I think they take time to actually have faith in God. And I believe if we have faith in God, we are able to realize ourselves more better. And that way we evolve ourselves also. We are able to use our full potential with the grace of God. Because God Himself gives us that grace to realize ourselves. If we don't have faith in God, we'll take a lot of time to actually realize ourselves and use our full potential, is what I think.
Okay, okay. So Shobhana ji has given a very specific answer, very beautiful answer. The confusion that people have, where to put the faith on, and that doesn't allow them to go to develop that one pointed faith which can go deeper. So in the beginning, if there are bahushakha buddhi, if there are multiple directions in which your mind is moving, then you will not be able to develop depth into it. So that is the reason that people remain like that. So here, one point that came up in the discussion here is that Sandhya ji was saying that if you do not have faith in yourself, you will not have faith in God also. So if you see Bhagavad Gita also, it begins by the knowledge about Atman, knowledge about the self, the Sankhya Yoga. Whereas you see the aspect of bhakti comes much later in Bhagavad Gita, toward the end. So in the beginning comes the self, the knowledge of the self. Then comes Karma Yoga. After that comes practice, that is Raj Yoga, the aspect of dhyana. And then comes bhakti. When we generally try to understand, we feel that bhakti is the easiest path. What you have to do, you just have to sit, pray, take the name of God, do nothing. So it appears the easiest one, but in my experience, it is the most difficult path because it is something where you do not have any control on it. It is something that manifests or flowers within you, provided you give that necessary kind of a atmosphere. You generate that necessary atmosphere within you for that divine love to blossom in your heart. Okay. So the easiest way is to do your karma, or first to read books and contemplate onto the understanding that is given about the self. So when we say faith, faith is not necessarily onto something like you have to go with any religion. We are talking about God in the sense that it is the source of the whole creation, which lies within the depth of your heart as well. So let us see what Bhagavad Gita has to say about it. The Krishna in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita itself says, that lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta mayanagha. O sinless Arjun, there are two paths leading to enlightenment that have been explained by me and that is followed in the world. The Jnana Yoga for those inclined towards contemplation, and Karma Yoga, that is the path of work for those inclined towards the action. So fundamentally, the people who are there, they are primarily driven toward these two. Either I am a person who believes in karma. So I have seen many people who say, I do not believe in God, I believe in karma. Okay. Whereas there are other kind of people who are more intellect dominant and they question everything. Therefore, they question God also. So these are the two fundamental things which are there programmed within the human software. And as a person, evolves, he gets into deeper and deeper understanding of the path of jnana, the path of questioning. And also, on the other hand, the person who is in karma, starts moving towards more of a sakama karma, that is the karma done for individual selfish desires, towards a karma which is done for universal well-being and uplifting the society and selfless action. So this is the way the person with jnana evolves. A person with jnana evolves by first questioning about the existence around him, and slowly he turns inwards and starts questioning about who am I, questioning the very existence of oneself. What is sustaining this this universe, and what is sustaining me? From where does the thought arise? From where does the emotions arise? From where does the bliss arise? So this is the way the questioner and the karma person evolves. As they evolve, Krishna says, ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. The way people approach me, the way they have faith, it is not possible to remain in this world without faith. Even if you do not believe in God, you believe in yourself. That also is a faith, which in a way Krishna is saying that is also coming to me only. And I start responding to that person in the same way. So the way you approach the transcendental, the same way the transcendental starts approaching you. If you believe that, okay, God is energy, then God will start responding to you in the form of energy. If you believe that I do not believe in God, I have faith in me, then within the depth of your heart, that divine will start responding to you. So Krishna is very clear here. The way people approach me, what kind of attitude they have, I am kind enough to approach to them with the same attitude. So, and mam vartamanu vartante manushyaha parth sarvashaha. So all the beings, actually move towards me only. Now, this is very interesting. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we see classification of 4 types of people. 4 type of people who find it difficult to have faith in God, and 4 kind of people who easily, develop faith in God, and the reason behind that. So in 7.15, Krishna says, Namam duskritino mudhaha prapadyante naradhamaha mayaya upahat jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. So 4 kind of people do not have faith in me, or they do not connect to me in any of the ways, So these are, number 1, those who are ignorant of this whole knowledge itself. From their childhood only, they were not exposed to this at all. Second, who know and understand it, but simply they have so much laziness within them that they find it difficult to take any path of jnana or karma and live more materialistic life. Similarly, there are people who are having a overactive kind of a intellect, who are too proud of their intellect. And there also that tendency comes because of excessive attachment to the material energy of the God, of the creator. So they are more at the periphery rather than the core of the creation. And there are 4th ones, who are actually having a repulsion towards that source. So 4 kind of people who do not have faith. Ignorant, who lack spiritual knowledge, do not know anything about their self or Atman, or anything about the source of creation. So they are not aware, they find it difficult to surrender. The lazy ones are knowledgeable and aware, but their lazy nature do not allow them to take any initiative towards this. Third one, this is very common, those with overactive intellect. People who are so proud of their intellect that they have no faith in the scriptures and the teaching of the saints. They doubt everything, and they are excessively attracted towards the material energy of the creation. You see, these overactive intellect is always seen in elite kind of groups. If you go to villages, people who are really, in a very humble conditions, they do not find that kind of a attitude. And 4th are the kind of people who actually are repulsive towards it. These are aware of God and his purpose, like Ravana, like Kamsa, but still work against him. in fact, these are the people who, if they see anybody having faith, they start hating that person as well. They start pulling that person also down. So these are four kind of people which Krishna has described who do not have faith. And then in the very next sloka, he describes four sukrutas, four good people who have faith in God. And these are Artha, Jidnyasu, Artharthi, and Jnani. The distressed, the seeker of knowledge, the seeker of worldly desires, and those who are Jnani or situated in knowledge. So these are the four kind of people who have faith. So as Gandhi sir was telling that some people, they are in misery, they are worldly overflowing miseries, they are unable to cope, and they conclude that it is futile to run after the world, and they turn towards God. Krishna recognizes that and calls them also as Sukrutas. So Krishna doesn't say that these are bad people. Krishna says that even if you are in suffering and you are turning towards God, it is very much welcome. Second are people who are Jidnyasus, who actually are just curious about this whole creation and want to understand from where all this has come. So they turn towards the God. Then there are seekers of worldly possessions. People are clear that what they want will come if they pray to God and they take shelter in God because they are convinced. And then the fourth one are the people who are the exact opposite of the demons. They are jnanis. They have understood the truth that they are tiny parts of God themselves, that their Atman is one ray of that sun. Such people engage in devotion with the intent that it is their eternal duty to love and serve the God. So Krishna called them as the fourth kind of devotee. So you see, there are four kinds there. Those who do not have faith, and Krishna goes from the less intense to more intense. So here, if you go back, you see the ignorant, lazy, overactive intellect, and demoniac. So this is from less intensity to more intensity. So it is most difficult for a person who has this demoniac nature to move towards the faith. Then slightly lesser than that is towards those who have overactive intellect. Lazy person can move to that state in a more easier manner. And the ignorant, once the ignorance is removed, he will move toward that. Those who are not at all exposed to it, if they are exposed, they will move it. So there is grading in that. The higher the grade, more difficult it is to move towards that path of faith. Whereas here, also there is grading. So here, people who have knowledge are closest to the God. They can move and hold on to the God more intensely. Very interestingly, Krishna puts people who seek, God for worldly pleasure above people who are jidnyasu or are just curious about it. Why? Because people firmly believe that what I want, I will get if I turn towards God. So they are put on a higher pedestal. Then those who are curious, and then people who are distressed are put on a lower pedestal, but all of them are good. So they only turn to God when they are in trouble. As soon as they are out of the trouble, they forget God. So among those four also, Krishna says, Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Ek Bhaktir Vishishyate. Among those who have faith in me, I consider them to be the highest, who worship me with knowledge, who read scriptures and develop correct understanding about me, and those who are Nitya Yukta, who are connected to me at all the times. Some cues like japa or something is used where they are trying to connect to the God in Nitya, in continuity, and have one-pointed devotion, Ek Bhaktihi. As Shobhana ji was saying, that people are confused. People also fear that if I worship one God, other God will get fearful, other God will get disappointed. So to such a jnani who developed that one-pointed bhakti, priyo hi jnanino tad atyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. So he loves me very much and I love that person very much. So this is the very source of creation, who is talking about it. And on the point, where we were talking about this faith, Krishna says that even those who worship other deities or other devas, other god energy, also actually worship me only. But they do so with incomplete understanding. This is like if somebody is in a higher government position, and he has certain powers to do certain tasks for you, he is able to do that task because the government, the center, has given him that authority, that power. So therefore Krishna is telling that if you develop correct understanding, people who are worshipping other deities or other energy centers also are ultimately worshipping me only. So he says that udaraha sarva evate jnani twatmeva me matam. Among all these udaras, the one who is a jnani, who has evolved into bhakti through jnana, that particular person, I consider him as my very self. Mameva anuttamam gatim. So he is established in my self itself. So finally he says that bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate vasudevah sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After many births of spiritual practice, one who is endowed with the knowledge and surrenders unto me completely, knowing me to be all that is, one who develops that I, that everything around is Vasudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Whoever I am meeting, whatever I am seeing in this whole creation, everywhere in the depth of the heart of every being, every creature, Vasudev is there. That ability to see the divine everywhere around, that kind of Mahatma is very rare indeed. So because Krishna says that it happens after many births of spiritual practice. So one is you take an initiative on spiritual path, then you continue growing on that path, birth after birth after birth, and then comes a birth where you reach a state where you are completely convinced that everything is Vasudeva. Vasudevah sarvam iti. That kind of Mahatma is Durlabha. So in my understanding, dear friends, I see that jnana and karma go parallel. In the beginning of spiritual journey, we are either believers of karma or either believers of jnana or the intellect dominant. But as we grow in jnana, as we grow in karma, these two paths, start merging, and then both of them merge into the path of bhakti. Slowly, that purification of chitta, the purification of heart, then allows you to actually feel the presence of divine first within your heart. And then you start seeing the same divine in the heart of everybody. So it is in this way I feel that a spiritual seeker evolves. So even if you are not able to develop that faith or that bhakti, or you feel that you are not developing that belief, I would suggest that whatever duties that you are doing, you do it selflessly. By doing selfless duty also, you will naturally evolve on this path. Or if you are a person who follows the path of knowledge, if you are curious about the source of creation, then you should read the more authentic texts. People get confused when they read texts which are creating more confusion in their mind. So therefore texts like Bhagavad Gita, which are actually open. See, Krishna is so open-minded. He says, whatever way that you approach the creation starts approaching you in the same way. So we have to grow in jnana, associate with people who are jnanis, and that also allows us to go towards bhakti. karma, selfless duty also allows us to go towards bhakti. And as we grow in bhakti, we start growing towards this state, which is considered as a highest state in bhakti, where person says, Vasudevaha Sarvamiti. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you today. Thank you.